Chapter 2, Lesson 3 is solving word problems, which means this is the end of the chapter as well. So again, when it's word problems, ideally we want to use the tools that we have learned in the previous years. So we saw the same tools in the first chapter. Okay, so we ended chapter 1 with word problems. Now we'll end chapter 2 with word problems as well. Okay, this time around, it's word problems that deal with fractions. Okay, so we have to remember that it's now usually 2 to 3 step word problems. So we have to be aware of that. Okay, so I will be beginning my discussion with page 52. Okay, so on page 52, problem 1C. Okay, so here it says, Kasim packed 9 1/10 kilograms of minced meat equally into 7 bags and sold each bag of minced meat for $5.20. Okay, then it says Hassan packed 8 2/5 kilograms of minced meat equally into 6 bags and sold each bag of minced meat for $5.25. Okay, so the question is, who would you buy the meat from? Okay, so clearly, this is very stressful. First, there's no bar model. And in theory, you really don't need bar models because when you see the word each, that means it's either a multiplication or a division problem. And we're not really comparing how much the first person has with the second person. So the tool that I will use here is number of groups. Okay, then this is kilos per group and total kilo. Okay, so which again, if you're not familiar with this system of solving, please make sure to review at the beginning of the module. We put in the summary of all of these. Okay, so these are lessons from grade 4 and grade 5. Okay, so the number of groups will be the 7 bags. Okay, and the total kilos will be the 9 1/10 kilograms. Okay, and then whatever this is K, meaning Kasim. Okay, whatever the number per or each bag is, okay, he will sell. So this is now number of things. Okay, this is amount per thing and total amount. So why is it amount? Because there's dollars involved. Okay, so here the thing is actually kilos. Number of kilos. Okay, that's better. And then this is amount per kilo. So that's also better. Okay, so the kilo here will now go to the number of kilo because this is the question. How much per kilo did Kasim sell the minced meat so that we can compare with Hassan's? Okay, so which means the first one here, since that's missing, this is a division problem. 9 1/10 divided by 7 equals question mark. Now, this problem assumes that you can use a calculator. So since we use a calculator, if you plug in, you should get 1 3/10. Okay, so at the end of the problem, I'll show how to use the calculator just in case you're unfamiliar with using the calculator. Okay, this is now here, the number of kilograms per bag. Okay, so this is 1 3/10. Okay, so the total amount that Kasim sells is for $5.20. So again, since the amount here per is missing, that means that's a division problem. So taking $5.20 and dividing it by $1 and, 1 kilo and 3/10, 1 3/10 kilo, that means our answer should be $4 per kilogram. Okay, so in summary, Kasim had 9 1/10 kilograms. Kasim puts it in 7 bags, which means each bag has 1 3/10 kilograms. So I'll put here kilograms. Okay, now that one bag that has 1 3/10 kilogram is sold for $5.20. So the question is, how much did he sell per kilogram? Okay, and we do the same for Hassan. So why do we do the same for Hassan? Because we're gonna wanna compare how much per kilogram each one sold so that we can decide who to buy from. Okay, so which means the setup is the same. This time it's H. So number of groups, kilos per group, and total kilos. Okay, so Hassan packed 8 2/5 kilograms of meat into 6 bags. So this is 8 2/5 into 6 bags. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is figure out how many kilos per bag. So again, to find that, that's 8 2/5 divided by 6 equals question mark. Assuming that we are able to use a calculator, and we do because the problem has a calculator, then that means this is 1 2/5 kilogram. So a bag per bag, okay, it has 1 2/5. Okay, so which means now we have number of kilos, amount per kilo, and total amount. Okay, this is the question. How much per kilo did Hassan sell? Okay, so which means he sold for $5.25. $5.25. Okay, and a bag has 1 2/5 kilograms. So again, since the per is missing, this is a division problem. $5.25 divided by 1 2/5 equals question mark. So again, using the calculator, if you plug in 5.25 divided by 1 2/5, we should get $3.75 per kilogram. Okay, which means when we compare and we're asked who to buy from, the person to buy from is Hassan, because Hassan's cost per kilogram is cheaper than Kasim's cost per kilogram. Okay, so for parents and kids who don't know how to use a scientific calculator, I will demonstrate. So in the problem earlier, we said 9 1/10. So better when you do mixed number to go shift and then the fraction button, so that it's a mixed number format. So this will be 9, then arrow to the right, then this is 1 divided by or over 10. Okay, then arrow to the right, and then we have divided by 7. Okay, so when we press equal to, we should get the same answer that we did earlier, which is 1 3/10. Okay, but you'll see that your answer is in improper fraction. So we need to go shift SD. Okay, is 1 3/10. Okay, moving on to the, after that, we said $5.20 divided by 1 3/10. Okay, so the beauty of our calculator is it will store whatever the last thing that it computed, it will store it in its memory. So best thing to do is press on and then $5.20 divided by, and then you press answer. And that answer was the $1, 1 3/10 from earlier. So when you press equal to, you get 4, which is what we wrote down earlier. Continuing on to page 56, problem number 2 says, Anwar Mix 2 and 1/4 liters of peach juice and 1 and 3/5 liters of apple juice to make a fruit punch. He kept 3 liters and poured the rest into 3 mugs. Okay, then it says the mugs are A, B, and C. The amount of fruit punch in mug B was twice the amount of fruit punch in mug A. And mug C contained 1/10 liter of fruit punch more than mug B. Okay, so again, here we need to make sure that we do a bar model. And here they give us the bar model. However, the first step says to find how much fruit punch did Anwar put into the 3 mugs. Okay, so remember, first thing that happened is he mixed 2 and 1/4 liters of peach juice with 1 and 3/5 liters of apple juice to make the fruit punch. So, meaning if we add these and it has a calculator picture on it, that means we can use our calculator. This is 3 and 17 over 20. Okay, however, it says that he kept 3 liters and poured the rest into 3 mugs. So that means of the 3 and 17 over 20 liters, he kept 3. So that means it's a 17 over 20 liters that he poured into the 3 mugs, being mug A, mug B, and mug C. Okay, and when he poured, it says the amount of fruit punch in mug B is twice the amount of fruit punch in mug A. Okay, so that means this is 2 times as much as what's in mug A. Okay, and then it says that mug C contained 1/10 liter of fruit punch more than mug B. So which means mug C is longer than B, which means this part right here must be 1/10 liter. Okay, so if this right here is the 17 over 20 liters, question is how much in letter B? Find the amount of fruit punch in mug A, expressed in simplest form. So we're looking for this. Okay, so which means what we want to do is remove this. So if we want to remove that, we end up with A, B, and C. And this together is 17 over 20 minus 1/10. Okay, so after we do that, we have what's left over here, which is, this will be 17 over 20 minus 2 over 20, which is 15 over 20. So I did that computationally, but in theory, we can do calculator. So if you type up 17 over 20 minus 1/10, it will give you 3/4. Okay, which means 3/4 of a liter divided by 5 is the question mark. So again, since we're able to use a calculator, that answer should be 3/20 of a liter. Continuing on to page 62, problem number 4, it says, Hafiz poured 7/9 of water in a tank into a basin and the rest into a pail. Okay, so we have water that's divided into 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9th goes into the basin. And this goes into the pail. Okay, so again, in this problem, they have a bar model, but very difficult to understand. Okay, so then it says, he then poured 1/2 liter of water from the basin into the pail. Okay, both the basin and the pail had equal amounts of water in the end. Okay, so this means before, okay, looking at this, there's 2 down below and 7 up above. So, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then here's the 2. Okay, so what it says is he took some of what's in the basin, 1/2 liter. Okay, he then poured 1/2 liter from the basin to the pail, and then both had equal amounts. So that means part of this will be split so that we end up with equal amounts. So in order to do that, if you look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can't divide 5 into 2. So what will have to happen is you divide this into 2 little sets. Okay, so which means after, what will happen is 5 of the little sets gets transferred down below. And when you transfer the 5 of the little sets down below, they end up to have equal amounts. So let me draw that again. So now what will happen is each box will have 2. So that will be that. Okay, then I'll take 5 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And I'm going to transfer it here. So if I do, I add 5 here. And I add 5 here. Okay, so which means this 5 thing is the 1/2 liter. Okay, so because when you transfer again, when you visualize this going down here, this is what we get. Okay, so again, it's a bit complicated. You really need to be able to visualize this. So we're taking some of the leftover. So there's 2 here, which means there's 5 extra here because there were 7. But you have to split the 5 into 2 groups. But you can't split them equally unless you split within by 2. But when you split within by 2, then that makes it 10 smaller boxes. So if you take half of the smaller boxes, that would be 5, you transfer to the pail. When you do, they'll end up to be equal amounts. Okay, so which means 5 units is equal to 1/2 liter, which means 1 unit is equal to 1/2 divided by 5, which means that's 1/10 of a liter. Okay, the question says, how much water was poured into the basin at first? So which means this is what we're looking for, the basin. Okay, so the basin is technically this originally, which means that's 10 plus 2 plus 2 is 14 units. So 14 units is equal to 14 times 1/10, which cancels out as 7/5. And it says, leave your answer in mixed number. So which means this will be 1 2/5 liters. So again, parents and kids, if you are finding these difficult, they are really difficult. So we just need to make sure to keep practicing. Don't get frustrated. There are answer keys provided at the end of each of the modules. So with those, I'm hoping that you will be able to answer all of the remaining problems. that concludes the lesson, which also concludes the chapter, which also concludes Module 1. See you in the next module.